In 2016, the summer of 2016, when there was all of those shootings of Black men, and then the shootings in Dallas, like all of that, and it really affected the church. It affected us deeply, and I think what ended up happening was our community went into this big, messy season. I think we're constantly in a cycle, if you will, but I think what we ended up doing was having a conversation about race justice and unity within the church. There's an amazing man, Cedric Johnson, who came and spoke alongside my husband, amazing African-American man building a great church in the city. And he quoted out of a book that M. Scott Peck wrote about the 4 stages to true community. And it was the first time where I went, this has been the struggle that we're dealing with. And those 4 stages are, the first one is pseudo-community, fake community. Mm-hmm. That's when we come, that's when we come to church. We've got our facades up, we're doing our best, we walk in, we look good.
Yeah, we all dress the same.
We all dress the same,
right.
We're homogenous or whatever.
I think I grew up on that one.
But we walk in and it's kind of like when someone says, hi, how are you? You're like, yeah, good. That's really about all the answer. And plus, please don't tell me how you really are, because I'm actually not doing great and it's too messy if you really tell me.
Right.
But then the second stage is chaos. Now, look, I got 4 kids, so it's chaos all the time. So the thing is we don't necessarily invite chaos, but when does chaos happen? Whether that's news events, like a chaotic moment that happens in your life, trial, tragedy, all of those things that cause our walls to come down, even though we don't want them to, and exposes our true hearts. So that's when you're sitting at the table, we're all saying, we're unified, we all believe the same thing. Y'all, we do not all see the same way. It's only when you sit at a table and break bread and there's a little bit of chaos and you realize you disagree that your hearts are exposed and maybe you can learn something from each other. And then the next stage after that is the emptying of ourselves, which is when we basically death and resurrection. When we die to ourselves, we pick up our cross and we follow Jesus and walk in his resurrection. I think that's the thing, is when we come to the table to break bread, to understand somebody else's plight, not necessarily needing to be understood, but I want to understand you. I didn't walk a mile in your shoes. I don't get it. It's messy, but I'm not here to be understood. I'm here to see you as a person. It's not all about me. And then you have true community. And I think that cycle constantly is going on, but really we isolate ourselves from that because that's not easy. And
it takes time.
And that right there is what a lot of us maybe aren't ready to stick around for, because either what happens in the chaos stage is either people plant themselves and they're like, we're going to do this even though I'm scared out of my mind, or they're like, bye. But community is really important. I believe in the times we're living in.